Hello? Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Am I muted? Not very sharp. Hello? 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 some delay with getting the other guy on. I can see that somebody else is now watching. I'm still waiting on another participant. Well, let's see what I can do to get somebody else on here with me. And I am, in fact, live streaming, and one of my friends down in Gwinnett County says he's watching. But huh. Huh. What to do? Okay. Yeah. And it does come up to Fannin County Magistrate Court. Aha. One person is waiting. Admit. Joining. There we are.
On the phone.
On the phone. I'm going to hang up my phone.
I see you now.
I see you now. And a friend of mine in Gwinnett County is currently watching live on YouTube.
All right.
So, although not without a bump or two, we have achieved video conference and live streaming.
Well, good deal. We've been trying to figure out how to get our paperwork done back and forth from the jail, considering if they don't have any of the audio or video stuff for us to work with other than my laptop I've sent over there. So we're having some issues with faxing and emailing and signatures with that also. And I got some stuff from Cassandra that you had forwarded me that April and I are going to look over to maybe we can set up a plan kind of like what Fulton County's got.
They have a bunch of very expensive equipment.
Right. And we don't have any. So we're kind of working on a limited nothing to work with, you know?
Right. Well, if you can get them a computer that has a camera, they can do this and run the software that you've already got for warrants. Does that do anything more than warrants?
Well, our issue is they've got my laptop and it has a camera, so we're utilizing it. But the problem is we're having to have them email us paperwork.
Yeah.
And I'm having to sign it, email it back, have the suspect sign it, And
Right.
it's just like a 4-time process when it's got to be a simpler way.
What Fulton County is doing is built into the Odyssey case management system. And so without switching to Odyssey, and I don't remember the right name of it, something about Judge Desktop, where there's signing, that's part of Odyssey. So the way they're doing it without a fairly large expense, I have no idea how much.
Yeah, and of course, the cooperation with the jail seems to be the problem right now. They're understaffed and they're kind of overwhelmed. And then I'm asking them to take a first appearance hearing that generally takes 5 to 6 minutes, and extending it out 15 minutes time we do the paperwork back and forth on one and then back and forth on each individual. So it's turning into a long drawn out situation.
I wonder if it would be possible for them to get all the paperwork together in advance, email you all of it over, and then fill it in on your end and rescan it and email it all back as a batch.
Well, they've just been utilizing whatever jailers on duty at the time when they do first appearance hearings. So it's kind of just bounced around considering shift changes. And some of them know how, some of them don't. And it's a learning process, but it seems to me like there's got to be a simpler way of doing this paperwork. I just don't know how it is yet, but I'm going to figure it out.
Let me check with people like Michael Barker, and there's a woman whose name escapes me that's over on the western side of the state. Let me ask some of those other people what they're doing. And,
well, in Gilmer County and Pickens County have been doing it. Well, I think every county other than us for a while, because we're attached to the jails while we don't do it. A lot of them are not attached to their jails. So I'd like to see what format they're using, how they're utilizing it.
Well, if you want to look into Gilmer and Pickens, I'll look into Chatham and a couple of the other counties. Maybe Jim Thurman down in Lee County is doing something besides riding his horse.
I hate reinventing the wheel. I don't think we need to. I think this has been done for a time. It's just kind of, we've been hung up with the process that since we're attached, we just do it. They bring them over to a courtroom and we do them.
Right. What's the case management software package that you've got?
For the CJT?
Yeah.
That's who we're using is CJT, and the case management on it would be, hold on one second. Let me run get the card, okay?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I don't have anything for CJT, Jim. What all do you need from them?
Well, I was just wondering. I was going to look into what they've got available that you may not have, or ask on the list server if anybody else is using the same software you are, and what are they doing?
Yeah,
Because
I don't know who Gilmer County uses or who Pickens County uses even. Pickens has got a whole setup with their own jail that they utilize back and forth. I know that we don't have as far as the audio video stuff.
Yeah.
What I've got is my laptop and this camera that you're looking through today. So.
But I mean, I can give you the number to CJT.
Well, I'll just, okay, fine. Have you got it handy?
No.
That's what I want to get.
Well, that's okay. Send it to me later. I was just gonna, I'm sure they've got a web presence. I was just gonna look, maybe there's a module that can be added on that adds that, because the paperwork back and forth is gonna be part of case management.
Yeah.
And video has always been something separate. What Fulton County used to use was Polycom. I don't know if they're still using that or not. And they had a real fancy system back in the old days with big screens and everything else. But it was part of Odyssey that allowed them to share the paperwork, use a signing pad out at the jail. I had a signing pad on the bench. There was no delay to everybody signing because they signed on their end and I signed on my end kind of simultaneously. And the software put it all into the document and automatically entered it into the docket.
That's kind of what we need. I think we had a signing pad over there with my iPad or with my laptop, and I had one here, then that would save all this faxing back and forth.
Yeah.
We could just do it. You
That's
know,
got to be part of case management, not part of the video is separate.
yeah. What are they saying about this Zoom? I've heard some stuff, you know, the FBI has put out that Zoom's not secure and that it can be hacked and it's not secure.
Most of the problems that I've found that people are talking about is operator error, in that they do things like post the meeting ID and don't use a password, or post the meeting ID and the password publicly. And then people who want to hack in know the meeting ID and they know the password and they just barge in.
Okay. So that'd be something to be done on our end when we secure it here before we done the meeting.
Well, you see, that's why I use the password. I don't know. I know that the video and audio is being encrypted back and forth, but unless you know there's a particular meeting in progress, or this software can be used to do webinars where you end up with 400 or 500 participants.
Yeah.
And they're giving out the password information publicly. So I mean, it's the thing I put up on the list server was, you go to the grocery store, you leave your keys in the car with the motor running. Well, why are you surprised somebody stole your car?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's my thing, is just to make sure that everything is secure. That way it doesn't come back up by us utilizing it, that we've done something or violated somebody's constitutional rights by putting something out public that shouldn't, information that shouldn't be seen or heard, you know.
Well, that has to be up to you to be circumspect, I guess. But if we were doing this in the courtroom's open to the public.
It is.
And
I guess that's my next question. If we're doing it through the jail and through here, sitting in my office, and we've got the public on YouTube like we do today, does that classify same as open to the public?
under the emergency rules from the Supreme Court, the answer is yes.
Okay.
The
But
thing-
after that time, when they remove this order, it will not be, correct?
I'll have to look at that. I'm not sure whether we put a terminal date on the emergency order or the emergency rule change or not.
Okay.
But we'll want to go back and take a look. The other thing you need to do is put on the Fannin County Magistrate Court website that all hearings that are open to the public are being streamed live on YouTube, and that you can search for Fannin County Magistrate Court and see any hearings that are going on. That you don't need anything hearing specific, because my friend down in Gwinnett just went on YouTube and searched Fannin County Magistrate Court and found us.
Okay.
And that, under the emergency orders, is enough notice to the public.
Well, and that's my concern, is that we don't step out of the Constitution, you know, and violate somebody's rights by not doing what we're supposed to do.
Right.
So
No.
as long as we've got all those bases covered, I'm good with it. We can add that. April can add that onto the web page. That's not a problem to put that website on there.
Yeah, as long as you say it's being streamed live on YouTube, just search for Fannin County Magistrate Court or similar. Then we've satisfied the requirements of all the emergency orders for public access.
Okay. And I have another question while I've got you here. I had an attorney called a minute ago wanting to do a behavior bond, which is a hearing. It's not a trial.
What kind of hearing?
Huh?
What kind of bond?
A good behavior bond.
Oh, okay.
That would fall under something I would have to set up in here because it's a protective order. Is that
Right.
not correct? So if she files that, I have to go ahead and set a date and hear that.
Yeah.
Do I serve it just like I would any other paper? I have the sheriff's deputy serve that
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. And you can do it by video by giving the participants a meeting ID and a password.
Okay, well, that's why I'm asking, can we utilize this to do that hearing?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, no question about that.
well, that may be one I'm fixing to set up pretty quick because Sarah Owensby called this morning wanting to do one. I think Judge Weaver or George Weaver's the other lawyer, so we'll have to try to get that set up should you file it.
Okay, and if you want me to come down when you're going to do that to kind of be the technology guy on the side out of the picture to make sure it goes smoothly.
Well, that's what I'm kind of asking is when I get ready to set it up, are you going to be available to help do this?
I will be sure to be available.
Okay. Well, good deal. Sounds like we're getting started to where we need to be anyway.
Yeah, Michael Barker and I have been talking about the dispossessory impact of the CARES Act. And we're all kind of scratching our heads because they didn't put a terminal date. According to the rules in the dispossessory moratorium, the landlord has to send a 30-day notice that can't go out before the end of the moratorium. And you have to give 30 days notice, which under Georgia law is more like 7 days from the date of the hearing to being able to put them out, but they didn't put an end date on it.
Right.
So has federal law changed Georgia dispossessory law forever?
I hope
Or,
not, because we're reinventing the wheel again.
yeah, I kind of think that their changes last either 30 days after the 120-day moratorium or the end of the emergency or December 31st, whichever comes last.
Yeah.
And you can find that kind of stuff in the act, even if not directly applicable to dispossessories.
I think Michael Barker will make that decision for us before this order is over anyway.
Oh yeah, no, he and I have been emailing back and forth about it a couple of days now. So I suspect something is forthcoming, but we've got plenty of time because under the, at least until May 13th, there won't be any dispossessories under any circumstances.
Right. Well, you're on that rules committee. I'm sure you'll keep me updated.
Absolutely, positively.
All right. Well, I think this is going to work out good. We'll try it a few more times before we get ready to use it. Okay.
Yeah. Let me know when you set a date for that good behavior bond, and I'll make sure that we do this well in advance, another one well in advance. Or you just pick when you want to do another one and let me know.
I'll do it. Well, I've
Was
got
I-
some deputies here needing to do some stuff, so let me get in here and get that done. But thank you for your time this morning.
No, thank you. And I'll go ahead and end the meeting and look forward to hearing from you in the real near future.
All right. Good to see you this morning, Jim.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.